Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T, and I'm wishing you a great day. At the end of this video, I'm going to share a quote with you that I think is germane to the content, and I'm also going to tell you another of my favorite songs. Write down the favorite song each day this week, then on Friday, send me a reply to my Friday post and let me know what those songs are, and I'll enter you in a contest to win a DNA test kit from Ancestry.com. It's about $100 value, and if you've never had your DNA tested and you want to, then you'll want to enter this little contest. It's not every day that a potential yet unknown serialist turns up on the radar. After listening to two criminal profilers discuss the case of 14-year-old Emily Pike of the San Carlos Apache Tribe, I believe that whoever unalived this little girl is likely a serialist. By the way, did you know that Emily was the type of person who, even if you were mean to her, would smile at you? Here's what the experts discussed and the conclusions that they came to over a nearly 3-hour show on The Interview Room. The person who unalived Emily is most likely a non-indigenous male who is 1, very familiar with the area where Emily's remains were discarded, 2, drives a truck, 3, may work in a field where he keeps heavy-duty contractor bags in his truck, along with the sharp tools used to cut things up, if you know what I mean. 4 is an organized perpetrator versus a disorganized one. 5 is likely a serialist who's done this before and will do it again. 6 was likely motivated by a desire to essay Emily. 7 most likely unalived Emily by using his hands on her neck. The consensus was that this is probably a local oddball loner who had an additional motive of wanting to send a message to the indigenous people in the area, as in, look what I did to Emily and how I dumped her remains like trash, as if she had zero worth. The experts feel it's possible the perpetrator has some hostility for the indigenous population in the area. One confusing detail was, why did the perpetrator cut up the remains? He did not have to do that in order to move Emily, because she was only 4 feet 10 inches tall and only 80 pounds. So he wasn't forced to cut things up due to a large size person. Emily, being so petite, would not have been hard to move to another location to conceal the evidence and get away with the crime. So why did he do that? One suggestion was that maybe Emily was held for the roughly 3 weeks between running away from a group home in Mesa, Arizona on January 27th and then having her remains being found on February 14th, Valentine's Day. If Emily was kept alive for those weeks, it's possible that she was bound. If that was the case, it may explain why Emily's arms and hands were not found among the remains in the plastic bags. So maybe the perpetrator wanted to hide tie marks, ligature marks, and other evidence. The experts feel that the remains were dumped on that lonely Forest Service road 100 miles away from the group home, probably right around the day that they were found, because they were not far off the road and they were not well concealed within the brush. They were easy to find, and the remains were in such good condition that law enforcement was able to see trauma to Emily's face. Also, the bag was not torn apart. The remains were not scattered. There's a lot of wildlife in that area. You've got coyotes, you've got javelina, and they smell this stuff the minute it turns up. My brother made the mistake of burying one of our cats in the backyard when he first moved to Arizona. You could get away with that in Wisconsin, where I'm from, But in Arizona, if you do that, the coyotes will be there. They will dig up the remains. They will tear them apart. And you will come home to a very grisly scene in your backyard. Don't do it. So the experts feel that Emily probably died closer to February 14th than January 27th, which again points to her possibly being held by this perpetrator for a period of time, which is just so painful to think about. The experts also feel that Emily was likely picked up by this man in Mesa, Arizona, not long after she ran away from the group home. So it might have been quickly after she headed out on foot. She apparently climbed out her bedroom window and she left on foot. And when she left, it was in the evening on Monday, January 27th, and it was already dark out. The experts also feel that this is a predator who is very cold at heart, but is able to pretend to be a helper, to be somebody nice, somebody who wants to help you, give you a ride, maybe give you some food, says he cares about you, and he doesn't maybe give off those scary vibes that a lot of these predators do. So this person is more socialized. That may explain why Emily ended up in his truck, but then again, he could have forced her into his truck. The experts also feel that the perpetrator wanted the remains to be found because of where the plastic bag was placed. They were near the brush, they were not really well concealed, and they were also in an area that appears to be a dump where people discard things like old refrigerators and other items, because there were other items around that spot. That also points to this person being a local who knows about this offbeat location where things are dumped. They also felt that this is a person who will return to that scene to see what's going down, perhaps to see people put items at the memorial there. It may be somebody who went back to that area to visit the remains. So that's something to be aware of if you're in the area and you want to place some items near the memorial. Keep in mind that this person might be there watching. The experts are hoping that there will be touch DNA on the plastic bags and or on the remains. If so, it can be entered into CODIS. And if this person has committed a felony in the past and gotten caught, there will be a hit, hopefully a match. So is this man a landscaper? Is that why he had heavy-duty plastic bags in the truck and also tools for cutting? There are a ton of landscapers who work in Arizona. They all have trucks. They all carry those heavy-duty plastic bags because the brush here is very prickly. It can cut easily, so they need extra durable bags, and they carry a lot of items to cut down cacti, tree branches, etc. It could also be a contractor working in construction. It could also be a hunter. Those are all possibilities. It's also a possibility that it could be a rancher because of where it was located. And this might be somebody who has an issue with the indigenous people because of land and or water rights. The experts feel that this is a person who's also from a broken home and may have recognized himself in Emily. And of course, Emily coming from a broken home would make her more vulnerable. It's also come out that her father was in prison starting in 2024, and he was still there when this happened to Emily, so he could not be a suspect. Sadly, Indigenous girls are at a higher risk of being victims of crime, including of trafficking. Also, there are gangs that operate in this area. There are also cartels because of its proximity to the border with Mexico. Here's a staggering number. There are apparently 400 plus cold cases from around this area, and that may be because of its proximity to Mexico. If you live in that area and you're a female, particularly an adolescent female, do not go walking around alone. Do not run away because there is a potential serialist there. Also, if you're in Mesa, Arizona, because that's where Emily started out, it's possible that serialist could live there as well and could be using Mesa as a hunting ground, looking for potential victims. You are not a drop in the ocean. The entire ocean is in a drop of you by Rumi, R-U-M-I. And the song of the day is Heart of Gold by Neil Young. Check it out, and hopefully that's the type of person that you are living with or in a relationship with, or that you will find. I'm sure you will find this person in your lifetime. Like, share, subscribe. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time on Bed Crime Stories.
Turn it to this! I love you. No, I love you. So you're supposed to say I love you too. So ready? I love you. I love you too. I love you. No, I love you. So you're supposed to say I love you too. So ready? I love you.